Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. Normally, it's supposed to be a Trivia Tuesday, but I just ran out of time today, guys, so I apologize for that. So there won't be any trivia today. Maybe we'll find another day to bring it in. I had a pretty good idea for trivia, too, but I have a feeling it's going to be something that, it's going to take a little bit of kind of homework to do, or at least some prep, because I'm thinking I'd like to do a trivia where it kind of it's I look around at Twitter and everyone's talking about WandaVision. I haven't seen that show yet. And there's kind of like that pleasure that people can take from when we're all like watching the same shows and you get to kind of like talk about it. I thought it'd be funny if we had not funny, but fun if we had a trivia where I was kind of like asking trivia about the videos you've probably seen on other people's running YouTube channels. And it's another way, again, of just kind of like making sure, we all are sharing notes in terms of like what's the fun running stuff that we're all kind of consuming. So that's kind of the idea that I had late in the day, but I just ran out of time. And that's because today's video that came out, the Insta360 Go 2, that one took forever. It ended up being 30 minutes long. So I ran out of time. Because there's no reason for that to be more than like 20 minutes, but I just kind of let myself ramble a little bit. So it's a little bit longer, but it took forever, and I wanted to get it released close to kind of like the launch window, and I kind of missed it by a couple hours, so I feel bad about that, but got it out there. Overall, I'm really happy with how the video turned out. I'm really happy with the footage that I have for the camera too, so, that's it. But I was up till 1:30 in the morning working on it. And then I got up again at 5. And then I didn't go for my normal morning run because I was just kind of working and hustling, trying to get this thing done. I've been working on it too for a couple of days. So it just kind of got away from me. Some of the, extra processing steps in working with the Insta360 Go 2 kind of took a little bit longer and were a little bit more taxing on my, humble 3-year-old MacBook. So that kind of slowed me down a little bit too, but got it all out. And I did eventually get in a run today. And by the time I did go for my run today, it was so warm out. I ran in shorts for the first time in 2021. So that was nice. How were your guys' runs today? Everyone listening in on the podcast audio only version, you're on your runs now. Hope you're enjoying that. Hopefully you guys are getting some beautiful, unseasonably warm weather. And everyone watching on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you're having a good day too, and hopefully you had some good nights. All right, who do we have here? Scotty B. Hey, all. Funning from Minnesota. Awesome. Stevie76 wants to know if I ran in 2-inch shorts. No, I think I ran in 8-inch shorts today. They were kind of like one of those 2-in-1 kind of shorts where the liner is real long, kind of like how spandex shorts used to be in the 90s that you would wear underneath your shorts, Do you guys remember that? Not 2-inch shorts weather quite yet. I still had a long sleeve and gloves, not my thick winter mittens, but gloves on, and then a hat and a mask. So I felt like that was a good amount of clothes for me to wear. I just had some longer socks, but yeah, spring is around the corner. Although that being said, they say by this weekend, temperatures are supposed to get seasonal again. So it's gonna be 10, 15 degrees cooler. All right. Mark says, just saying hello to all. Very busy at work. We'll catch up later. Run was great. Awesome. Good to hear that, Mark. And Chris says, good run. Time trial here with Stride. Got my CP up to 300. Whoa, nice work. That's a big critical power number. Excellent. All right. Martha says, those mentioning Strava. And I saw earlier up in the chat, some people are having troubles getting some of their data uploaded to Strava today. Martha saying it didn't work on her last outdoor run. Discovered her account disconnected from Garmin. Reconnected it, and today all synced perfectly. So check on that. Interesting. More Garmin. I hope it's not more Garmin problems. But all right. Scott says shorts run today. 62 degrees. Yeah. I looked at my watch and it said 47 degrees, and I was like, ooh, I'm putting on some shorts today. I'm going for it. Oscar says it's 70 degrees in Texas, and he's going to go for a run after the live stream. Awesome, Oscar. That's nice and balmy for you guys, though, isn't that, for this time of year? All right. DJ Maudib says, quick brag, got my first sub 25K on Sunday, 1950. Awesome. Great work. Let me get my cowbell noise out. All Where is it? Here's the cowbell. Boy, awesome. Good job, DJ. He says, I'm starting to wonder if I'm ready for an 1870 plan this summer, get aggressive with the marathon. Yeah, I don't know what 1870 means, but, you know, sub 25K, that's no joke, especially with getting it at 1950. So great work. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that it necessarily means you should get aggressive with the marathon, but I think that anyone that's getting like good times generally before like spring, before Easter usually, I feel like it's a good signal. It means that your fitness is in a really good place over the winter time. And so it should set you up well for some summer and fall racing. So definitely something to look forward to. Lee Joyce Chung said, I did a 10K or 10K plus in the rain carrying the umbrella this morning. Was it not raining hard enough that like that you didn't want to use the umbrella, or like what was the umbrella for? I'm trying to envision that. That'd be hard. I mean, I run with the selfie stick, but like running with the umbrella, I feel like that would just catch a whole bunch of wind. All right. Okay. Jeff Elliott saying that the 18 week for 70 miles per week, that'd be a long program, I feel like, but yeah, doable. Certainly doable. If that's what 1870 means from DJ. All right, Rick Sutter's going to go for an hour-long run in the shorts after the live stream, 66 and sunny. Yeah, I mean, like, ideal running temperature is, like, kind of, like, a little bit cooler than what we had out there today, like, in the low 40s. But, like, just for, like, pleasant running, anywhere, like, 50 to 65 is just so enjoyable. I don't know why. I just love that so much. All right, Martha says, I did what felt like a super slow run today, but it was faster than it felt, and the rest a fast walk, 15-minute pace, because I felt fatigued today. Yeah, you know, I was not sure how my run was going to be today because I was feeling really tired. I didn't get much sleep, and then I just felt rushed, and I was off my normal routine. And then, like, the first couple of miles just, like, felt awkward. I had a long run yesterday, and I was like, it's just going to be one of those runs where you just kind of just get through it. You know, log the miles and then move on to the next one. But by the end, I started feeling really good. But yeah, but it says that you felt like a super slow run, but it was faster than it felt. So hopefully you're feeling better than kind of you think you do. All right. Yeah. DJ is confirming that 1870 is an 18-week, 70-mile per week plan from Fitziger Advanced Marathon, averaging about 40 to 50 miles per week right now. Thinking of putting base probably before the summer and get to 70 miles per week at peak training. Okay. Yeah. I mean, depending on what you mean by when you're going to get to 70 miles per week, from 40 to 50 to 70, I mean, that's a pretty big jump, but certainly doable. So, yeah, go for it. All right. Anna says his Garmin is all good there. His Strava didn't let him edit in a photo of Pip for a while. All good now, and Pip is back on the Strava post. You know, I get that from Strava regularly. It's actually been a while since it happened. But, you know, I definitely have a photograph for every single run that I've posted. But sometimes, like, and I go back and look at my history, they'll be like, oh, there's no photo for this run. Why is that? But sometimes, like, I'll do the run, I'll change the name of the run, I'll put in some notes, I'll, you know, select which shoe I ran in, and then I'll add the photo. But then, like, I might go back, like, and it'll, like, look fine. But then what I always do now, because sometimes the photo just disappears, is I then refresh and check on that activity to make sure that the photo's there. And sometimes, like, it'll go through all the motions of uploading the photo. I could see that the photo's there, and the minute I, like, you know, do the scroll down thing to make it refresh, it disappears. So, like, there's been times where I'm like, I'm going to upload this photo 3 times. And then it'll look like the photo's uploaded 3 times, and then I'll refresh and it's gone. So I've had that issue with Strava before. I'm not sure what causes that. Oh, Martha says, my coach has a bunch of his people doing the June Tunnel Marathon. Oh, yeah. When does does the registration opens later this month, I think. It's not yet. I thought it was March 24th was the day that opens up. That's an interesting one. Because the timing would be really good for me, I think, right now, because I'm feeling very confident as, like, the temperatures are dropping and I'm able to get out there with, you know, fewer layers and temperatures that are more conducive to running. I'm feeling pretty good. And so I'm like, Ooh, maybe I need to make a June push, but I don't know if I'm. It's probably too soon for me. But that's an interesting one. And Scott says he's had that happen before. He says, I thought I was going crazy. I knew the photo was getting deleted. Yeah, I mean, it's happened to me before. I'm glad it happens to other people. I thought it was just me. Madridi guy says, hey, bro, just want to hear your opinion about the Nike Zoom Next Percent against the Adidas Adizero Pro. I think those are two very similar shoes. I would use them in the same exact situation. Both can be used as marathon racing shoes, but I think that they're like perfect for half marathon racing. They're very fast, so I feel like they're comfortable and they feel speedy at marathon pace, but they also feel like you're getting a lot out of the carbon and the foam at your half marathon pace. So like when I'm doing threshold work, when I'm doing like 10K, 5K kind of like pace work, those are the shoes that I would kind of reach for first as my like favorites. Like second favorite, like behind those two would probably be like the Endorphin Pro, because I just feel like not only is the foam great, but I feel like the carbon is rigid enough that when I'm pushing that hard, I feel like I'm getting a good level of like loading the carbon, so that way it can bounce back and give me something back. And so that's why I like those shoes. The fit I think is pretty similar. I prefer the fit of the Adios Pro to the Next Percent, because that vaporwave material, it's kind of like, it feels like I'm wearing like a bag kind. It doesn't like feel like it fits all the time. I'm not saying I feel loose in it, but like just something about it always kind of looks a little bit weird. Like some people, like I know Seth has a problem with his where he gets like weird like bunching and creasing in it. So like I prefer the fit of the Adios Pro over the Next Percent. And yeah, I prefer the Adios Pro to the Next Percent. I just think it's got a little bit more cushion to it, and I'm a little bit older maybe, I guess, so I prefer having a little bit more cushion than a little bit more speed, I guess. For me, I feel like that trade-off is worth it. Dr. Josh wants to know, is a tunnel marathon a fast course? Yeah, it's definitely a fast course. It's not, I mean, they run it like 3 times a year. And from what I can tell, like the winning time is usually somewhere in like the 240s. Sometimes it gets down into like the 225, like mid 220s, but usually like it's in the 240s in terms of the winning time. And basically it's a 2,000 feet of downhill course. So you start at the top of not a mountain, but you start at the top of a hill. To me, it feels like a mountain. And then you, like the first mile is flat. You run through a train tunnel. It's pitch black. Everyone has like headlamps or like glow sticks. So that's kind of fun. And then there's a pickup truck. Afterwards, you can like toss all your stuff into the pickup. And then at that point, it's basically on like dirt access roads and then some like suspension bridges, which are concrete. And it's just 2,000 feet of like gradual downhill until you get to like about mile like 21 or so. Then there's a couple of flat spots in there, and it's pretty much flat for the last maybe less than 10K, maybe 8K. But yeah, it's a very, very fast course. Yeah, I mean, you're going to pick up like a good 4 or 5 minutes just from being on that course. Some people say that it's real hard on the quads. For me, it gave me a little bit of lower back, like my lower back and my hips started to kind of like feel all kind of messed up by the end of that race. But I don't know, running downhill seems to be something that I'm good at. But it's a very fun course. It is USATF certified. At least for Boston qualifying purposes, it counts. I don't know if like for anything else what it would count for, but yeah, it's definitely a fast course. The one drawback would be that there isn't a lot of aid stations. I think there's maybe 5 or 6 throughout the course, because it's more like my buddy Greg, who's the one that lives out in that region and like convinced me to do this race the first time, was like, it's more like a trail race than it is like a road race. It has that kind of vibe to it. So I'd never done a trail race before, so I take his word for it. He's been doing a lot of trail racing. So, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's one that I definitely want to do again. I tell people that if there were such thing as like a running theme park, the Tunnel Marathon would be a main attraction of it. All right. Let's see. Someone was saying something about the Cleveland Marathon. Where'd that go? see. Oh, here we go. Eric says, Cleveland Marathon just got postponed to the fall, so that's annoying for those who signed up. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. I got to talk to Jamie because I was on his Instagram live and he asked me if I would run the Eugene half marathon, which is in like next month, I think, a month from like April 20-something, April 23rd through 25th, I think. It's virtual, but that started out being like, we're going to do this live and then switched over to like, we're going virtual. So for the Cleveland Marathon, at least it's not like, hey, we're going virtual, but postponed in the fall probably makes a lot more sense for Ohio. But that is a bummer. I don't know when it was supposed to go, but that's a bummer that's not getting to go. And Martha says, Kofuzi, if you sign up for that tunnel, I want to hook you up with my coach. He's heard a lot about you from me, and I guess vice versa to some extent. That's for sure. I would love to meet up if I do that one. But I don't know. If I do it, I don't know that I'll get to a tunnel marathon this year. I guess it'll kind of like depend on what shakes out with some of the majors. Because I can see that, like, you know, I anticipate that some of those marathons will get a chance to go because they're smaller events, especially ones like the Tunnel Marathon, which doesn't have a huge race pool to begin with. And it's not going to draw like a ton of people internationally. But like maybe if some of the fall marathons end up kind of canceling or postponing or going virtual, then, you know, then I'll look to some of those. All right. Gal Ben says, love the new vid. Thanks. I mean, I had a lot of fun. Like, you know, I really just kind of wanted to be like, here's my footage. You can decide for yourself. I did running footage and I did like vlogging footage, and I wanted to leave it at like a 10-minute video, but I was like, I probably need to talk about it a little bit too. So there was a lot of talking, but I had a lot of fun making it, a lot of fun filming it. A lot of times, a lot of that footage of the family vlogging stuff, it's like the kids are holding the camera. So it's good to get them involved. Sarah says, Kofuzi, do you think there's a big difference in the water resistant capabilities of the Strava 75 Elite to the Strava 75 Elite Active? I don't know the different like IPX, you know, certification numbers of it. I want to say that they're both IPX4. I don't think the Elite Active has more waterproofness. I think maybe it does, but I think the bigger thing for the Strava Elite versus the Elite Active is the fit. Like it has a different fin or something like that, so it stays in the ear more. I think that's like the main difference of it. I don't know off the top of my head the waterproofness thing. Vegan Runner's here. What's going on, Vegan Runner? Good to see you again. And all right, let's see. Ooh, Ben Rice says the camera is very brightly exposed, giving a 90s or a naughties. That's an interesting word. Pop band music video vibe. All right, let's see if I can fix that. Let's go display. No, too much. There we go. It's really bright in here today, guys. That's another thing. But yeah, I think that's a little bit better. All right, that guy says 65 degrees Fahrenheit, New Jersey. Ran in shorts and a tank for the first time in his life. Wow, awesome, liberating. That sounds really nice. Sounds like really, really nice weather. Jacob Bang says, hey, do you think you could use the Adidas SL20 or SL20.2 for daily training and a little bit intervals and threshold runs? Yeah, I think the ideal mix for the SL20s are for that you would use it for intervals and threshold runs and maybe a little bit of daily training. But you can definitely use it kind of like the other way around, using it as primarily a daily training shoe. I think that the SL20 version 2 is a little bit better suited for more daily training than the SL20 version 1 is. But, you know, both of those, you're probably looking at them because you're looking for a good deal as well as looking for a really great shoe. And so, like, depending on the deal, you know, I wouldn't be upset if one person got one over the other. But yeah, I certainly think that you can use it for daily training and intervals, but it likes to be a little bit more on the faster side. And I'm wondering if like part of the reason why it's so like cheap all the time is because like just having the light strike or whatever they've done to the light strike, it's a light strike that I just don't think like holds up for like a super long period of time. And I don't mean durability. I just mean like over the course of a run. So like, you know, if you're putting in like a low and slow, easy, like 15 miler, I just feel like by the end, you're like, this is a shoe that doesn't really like to go slow, you know? So that's kind of like my take on those two shoes. All right, let's get this. Mouse froze up again. George Monroy says, better for a long distance run, the Nike Invincible, the Hoka Mach 4. I still don't have a Mach 4 yet, so I think at this point I'm just going to wait and see if it ends up getting sent to me through how it was supposed to get sent to me, or like see if Roadrunner Sports will send me one. But I do like the Invincible quite a bit. I'm really enjoying running in it, even though it does kind of like make me have to run a little bit more, not heel strike, but more squarely midfoot strike. It definitely wants me to run a certain way, but I just really enjoy it. The other day I ran in it, had 10 miles on a recovery. Was it a recovery run day? It was just a 10 miles, an easy run day. And yeah, I just felt like I could just keep going. My legs just didn't feel beat up from it. So I definitely like that shoe, especially for long runs as well. Once you can find like the rhythm in that shoe, it just feels like you can really keep going. Vegan Runner wants to know, hey, what's the shoe you're looking forward to this year? I mean, I don't really know what else, like if there's any surprises coming, I don't know about them yet. I did just order one of the Puma shoes. I forget. I think I ordered the Deviate. That's the expensive one. That's the Max Cushion one, right? I just ordered that. That released in the US today, as did the, what are the other ones? I want to say Levitate, but that's a Brooks shoe, right? Is there a Puma Levitate as well? And there's a Velocity. And Under Armour has a Velocity shoe right now, don't they? I don't know. I feel like everyone's using the same names this year. But I did order one of the Puma shoes. Pretty excited about it. I mean, they're describing it as a premium nitro foam shoe. And so I have a feeling that I know kind of what it's going to feel like. But, you know, people have been talking so highly of it. You know, it makes you very curious about that shoe. And I'm also very curious about like the plated version of it too, that hopefully that'll come out later in the year. But I'm going to wait before I get excited for that to see what the regular Deviate is like. The other shoe that I'm really looking forward to is the Adios Pro 2. Some of the early sketches look real weird, and that's either going to be great or terrible. I'm not sure. So, but either way, I'm intrigued just because I like the Adios Pro version 1 so much. All right. Let's see. Scott says, how much protein do you take in a day or in a week? I'm not sure how much protein I take in a day. I don't really measure it. I do usually like to take some sort of protein drink after all of my runs. And that usually gets me about anywhere between 20 to 30 grams of protein. So I try to get that, you know, reasonably close to after I get home from my run, before my shower. And then after that, you know, throughout the course of the day, I'm a pretty carb heavy guy. Lots of vegetables. So it's like basically like carbs and fiber is most of my diet. I probably need to be a little bit more careful in terms of making sure I'm getting a complete set of, you know, complete proteins from a plant-based diet. I mean, my like fallback is always like, as long as you get like beans and rice, you're going to be fine. But I don't normally count like how much beans and how much, you know, other plant-based of protein that I get. So it's usually about 30. Sometimes in the evenings, if I'm feeling very snacky, you know, you ever get that, guys, when it's like you've been on a long run and then for the rest of the day, you're just starving and you just want to eat all day. I feel like one, that's a pretty good signal that you should probably eat more food. But I also feel like sometimes that's your body saying like, hey, what you ate so far isn't what we need. So like mix it up, or we need more of like some important things. So usually when I get that kind of like, I can't stop eating feeling, then I might have like another dose of like a protein shake. So right now I'm drinking the Noon Recovery, which has branched chain amino acids in it. They say it's like 5 grams of that, but they say it's like the equivalent of like 30 grams of protein. So I'll have one of those. And then if I'm feeling like snacky during the day, then I'll have like a protein shake. And we usually have OWYN, only what you need. It's a plant-based protein that usually has about 20 grams of protein per serving. So I might have that. So on those kinds of days, I'm getting at least 50 from my drinks and supplements, plus whatever else I'm eating. and I don't know from what I'm eating. All right. Yeah, not really hankering. So eating carbs just makes you hungry. Yeah, but I mean, like pizza is very satisfying though. It's one of those foods where if I eat pizza and I still feel like eating pizza later, I'm not mad. So I mean, I know that's not really like a great approach to it, but and it's not always pizza, but you know, a lot of times it is. But yeah, so I recognize that I'm probably eating I'm eating way too many processed carbs and processed sugars, but also probably just too much like carbs and not enough fiber and plant protein. So it's something that I would like to work on, and I'm very much looking forward to kind of like the change in seasons to kind of help kind of like inspire me. I try to eat somewhat seasonally, just so that way I don't feel like I'm eating the same 3 meals the entire year round. But I feel like I've been eating all the same like winter meals over and over. So yeah. All right. Let's see. You guys are talking about Sarah Hall. Oh, okay. Ben Brown, are you talking about excited about Sarah Hall shoe? Yeah, that's another shoe that I'm definitely very excited for because I basically, when I first saw that shoe, Ben Johnson and I were like kidding around and we're saying like it's the Meta Racer upper with the Atreyu Artist midsole, and he even like Photoshop mocked up one that looked like that, and I was like, actually, it looks pretty similar to what she's got. And so the Atreyu midsole for the Artist is a supercritical foam as well. It's a supercritical EVA, and I think that's what they were saying, that the ASICS prototype shoe is some sort of supercritical foam as well. And so I don't think it's that far off. But I mean, supercritical foam can mean a lot of things. It can mean everything from, like Hyperion Tempo to Razor 3 to the Atreyu Artist. And that's a wide variety of different feels in there. So it could be a lot of stuff, but I am very excited just to see what that shoe finally ends up being. Because I think Yuki Kawauchi also ran in some of those. You know who I haven't seen running them, though, is I want to say I don't think I've seen Emma Bates running them. I think she's still running in just the regular Meta Racers. And I know Ailish McColgan's not. What is that? Oh, okay, cool. Ailish McColgan is not a marathoner yet, or I don't know if she will become a marathoner, but she's only been running, and she's a 10K runner. So, but I think even for when she was pacing at the London Marathon, I think she was just running in the regular Meta Racers. So I'm interesting to see kind of like what comes from that. I'm interested to see just a version 2 of if the Meta Racer stays that, and maybe there's like a different something racer or meta marathon, or I don't know what they call that prototype shoe, but it'll be interesting to see like what ASICS does with that. ASICS do with that. ASICS does with that. What ASICS does with that. That's the American grammar anyway, I think. Ben Brownie says Sarah Hall may just hoard the shoe until September or maybe an Olympics time period launch. Yeah, I have a feeling that their ASICS isn't going to release that shoe until like the last possible minute. And so the rule for availability, like universal availability, has a lot more loopholes in it now, basically because the World Athletics wants to let more shoe companies have their athletes run in prototypes. And so I think the universal availability, like the sale window, isn't going to be the determining factor. It's going to be, I think the rule says something about like you can run in a prototype for up to a year. Now, the thing is, like, if they tweak that prototype, 2 months from now, which will have been however many months from the London Marathon, I think that prototype 1 year clock resets. So, I mean, it basically means there is no more rule anymore, I think. I feel like they just gutted that rule. So it may be like the Vaporfly 4%, where it's like we don't get to see it for like 2 or 3 more years as far as regular people. That's going to be that's what I anticipate. So I'm not holding my breath for that Sarah Hall shoe, but I am looking forward to like a Meta Racer update. Mike House says supercritical foam yells at me for having bad form. That's a really good dad joke. I like that one. Love it. Ben Y says, do you think Jacob Ingebrigtsen will get into... Uh-oh, what happened? Lost the camera. Where's the camera? All right, let's switch over to just the... yeah, we'll just go to the regular webcam on here. So sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because it's hot in here. I don't feel... Maybe the battery died on the camera. I don't know. But we'll just go to the webcam. Ben Y says, do you think Jacob Ingebrigtsen will get into marathon running? I mean, it's so hard to tell. He's so young, right? And so it's kind of like, I always feel like, I mean, I'm not a huge like student of the sport, but it feels like, you know, a lot of runners, they, you know, run 5Ks and 10Ks. And then as they get older, then they shift from the track to the road. And then the distance just gets longer. But not every runner goes through that transition, right? Like, I just don't think like Emma Coburn's ever going to be a marathoner. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But like, I don't think that's something that a direction she like wants to go. But then there are other runners that are like, yeah, you know, we'll see how much longer I have track speed, and then I'm looking forward to some like different road distances. So like, it's not necessarily something that's going to happen. I mean, it'll be really interesting to see any of the Ingebrigtsens, because I don't think any of them run marathons now, do they? So it'll be interesting to see what they do there, because they do have so much support from their government in terms of training and sports science. So like, I feel like the running community will benefit if those boys start running for marathons too. And it says, Eilish McColgan is very light and efficient. Maybe she can get away with lighter shoe. That could be it too. But I also just wonder if like maybe they don't want her running in a prototype shoe, and they are going to be like, you're the 10K runner, so like we need to get you to. I think she's right now trying to break her mom's record for the 10K, and then she's close. I think she's like a second off or something like that. But so that might be it too. It's just like she's just, you know, that's not it. Maybe that's like a super cushioned shoe is maybe not a shoe she's ever run in. Like I mean, the only shoe I really ever see her run in is the Meta Racer, and even on like treadmill days, it seems like that's the only shoe she has on. But like, I can't imagine that like, you know, on her easy days, she's putting on like the Asics Gel Cumulus 23, right? Or even the Nova Blast. I just feel like, would she run in a Nova? I don't know. So like, I just don't know what like those shorter. I guess, I mean, 10K is not a short distance, but like, it's hard. I have a hard time like envisioning in my mind like what those runners run in. Mark Salzman says, how come Atreyu sneakers have no stock? Are they going out of business? I don't know. I just thought that I saw some images of some new colors that just came out. So I know that, you know, they're in Austin in Texas, where they weren't, I think they were down for several days, if not a couple of weeks, from the cold snap that went through there. And then I don't know what their supply chain looks like. So, although I feel like most shoe companies' supply chains are fine by now, but yeah, I don't know. But I think they're doing okay. They're constantly tweaking and like adapting and learning. So like, that's good to see too. So yeah, you know, I saw photos of Mike, the CEO. Is he the CEO, the founder? I don't know I don't remember what he called himself, but Mike at Atreyu, he was up at the Woodlands Marathon with everyone. So I don't think he was running, but he was there. And then they, what was his name? Rory, I forget his name. He ran in the artist at the Marathon Project. I think he DNF'd that day. But I think that was like the marathon debut of the artist. It's like, it got put on like the approved like World Athletics, you know, kind of list. And then Alexi Pappas has been running in Atreyu's as well. So like they must have the money to get her as a sponsored athlete. And then I didn't see it, but I saw a screenshot of it, and I definitely heard it. That she brought a pair over to Rich Roll when she was on Rich Roll's podcast. And, you know, Rich Roll runs in On sneakers, but he's tried on the Atreyu shoes. So there's like footage of him like wearing them. and he says he likes wearing them around. So, that's going to be a nice big bump, I think, for them too. So I think they're poised to make a move. I think this is going to be a very important year for them. I have a feeling. Guru 2025 says, are the ASICS Cumulus 23 released already in the US? I don't know. I thought I saw a review of them somewhere. I mean, if you told me like the current year's version was the 32, I wouldn't argue. It would sound right to me. It's not a model that I really follow. Joshua Eastwood says, who will win the Tokyo 2021 Olympic Marathon and what time? I don't know. I have no idea. I have to look at what the course is going to be like for Sapporo and, kind of what the temperatures are going to be like. Because my sister was telling me, because she went over, I think she was just over, not just, before everything closed down, she had gone over to Japan for a couple of days. And basically, because she works for NBC Sports and she works on the Olympics. And so like they were there and basically like the guidance was in Tokyo in the summer, it's so hot. You basically just bring 2 sets of clothes for every day because you're going to sweat through your first set of clothes at some point in the day and then you change. So, I mean, I think the move out of Tokyo in that circumstance makes a lot of sense. I had no idea Tokyo was so hot and humid. But I know Sapporo is a lot further north, but I don't know what the temperature is going to be like. And so that I think is going to be a big factor on it in terms of what the final time looks like. But what I'm ultimately hoping for, I don't really care about the time, but I just really want to see like just a fun championship style race where it's just like lots of movements, who's covering the moves, who's letting the lead pack go, and who's going to chase them down from the chase pack. Like that's what I'm hoping for. What I don't want is like, whoever it is has been in the lead for the last 15 minutes. It's just cruising. And that's going to be, it'll be great, but if it's I just want like a fun race. All right, I got to get going a little bit early today, guys. So I'm going to pick like one more, and then I got to go. Joshua says, and do you think we'll do this one, and then we'll do one more from Mark. Do you think Mo Farah can do the triple double in Tokyo, 5K and 10K? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't seen him. I mean, he just win that? He won the half marathon in Djibouti, right? That's the same country where he's like the sponsored athlete for like a shipping port, right? I think that's that same country. So he won that. I haven't seen any footage of him running, so like it's hard to tell. He's so secretive about his running. So I don't know, and we don't get a lot of coverage of him over here. I think in over for you guys, you probably get a lot more because he's from the UK like you are. But so I don't know. But like I just feel like there's a lot of competition right now. There's a lot of people that are performing really well at the 5 and the 10K, and the times are just bonkers. They don't even make sense anymore. It's like when you hear times that people are running for 5 and 10Ks, you're like, what distances are we talking about? So like I just find like it's going to be, I don't know. I think it's going to be hard for him. But then again, he's, spent a lot of time marathon training, building a lot of endurance. And, now if he kind of like brings that back down and puts that speed work back in, who knows? All right. Kurt Siege says, it looks like Ailish McColgan wears either the Glide or the Evo rides as well as her meta racers. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I could see her running in the Evo ride and then maybe even the Glide ride for her like long run days. That would make a lot of sense for someone that likes the meta racer. Okay. All right, let's do this one. I think this is a great place to end it for today. Is a liner different from running underwear? I got liners from Path Projects and too soft and rides up on me. Please advise. I'm not sure what the difference is when people say liners versus underwear. So I have the Path Project liners. I wear them as underwear all the time. I'm just using these as underwear. So I do wear them like all day. I mean, I'll plan it out. If like after I take my shower, I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to go for a run where I know I'm going to want to wear the Path Projects like when I'm running, the liners when I'm running, then I'll just wear them as underwear like the day before. But then the shorts that I ran in today, they were from Corsa, Korsa, that Roadrunner Sports brand, and they're kind of like a 2-in-1. So the liner is really long, about as long as the short itself, and it was like a 7-inch short. And so like that one, I'm like, well, this is so long. Is it really underwear? So like I wore it without an additional layer of underwear underneath it. So I was like, this liner is very soft, and the seams are also very soft. So I was like, this is not something where I need to be wearing underwear as well. So that's kind of how I go by it. But for path projects, I treat them like underwear. The difference is they do have a long tight that I don't know if they still, I don't know if I think they used to call it a liner, but it was like a long liner that I would probably still want to wear some underwear underneath it, but maybe not. I don't know. But the shorter ones, yeah, I wear those like underwear. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. All right, guys. Sorry about the video issues for today. My camera might still be tired from all the work earlier, but I thought I was charging it. So I don't know what's going on with the camera. Maybe it's because it's hot in here. It's overheated. Who knows? But I'll try to get that sorted for tomorrow. Tomorrow's video, I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. Or if we'll even have a video. I'm pretty tired from getting out this Insta360 Go 2 video today. So we'll see what comes out tomorrow. But we won't have a live stream. I forgot. We won't have a live stream tomorrow. I got to take my daughter to an appointment. I gotta drive her like over an hour away from here just to get her to a specialist. So we're going to do that. And I don't know when we're going to get back. So there won't be any live stream tomorrow, but we will have a video either Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know what the schedule is, but we'll definitely have happy hour live stream on Thursday. So at some point between now and Thursday, I'll see you in a video, hopefully more than one video. But at the latest, I will see you again Thursday for happy hour. Bring your recovery drink of choice. And in the meantime, enjoy the weather out there and be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.